الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا وقدوتنا محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأزكى التسليم اللهم علمنا بما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما يا رب العالمين. Previously there had been a little bit of confusion about adjective as a type of word versus adjective in the kind of coupling that we're seeing it here. So just a very, very brief detour. We have the same thing in English. So if I have I am tired, okay, versus the tired boy went to school, for example. Okay. Now we have two different scenarios going on here. Here in this sentence, the word tired is an adjective. It is. But it's not coming in a pairing, such as we're used to seeing it like we're working on now, Sifah mawsoof. Whereas here, the tired boy went to school, right? So we have here our mubtada and our khabar. And tired boy is a pairing, it's a coupling, Sifah mawsoof. So the same exact thing happens in Arabic, right? And this is something that we had run into before. So if I say, for example, Ana Jo'an, Ana Jo'anu, right? It's I am hungry, okay? The same sort of thing. This word is an adjective, true, it's a sifa, but it's not part of this coupling where the four things are necessary, you know, it mirrors what it's describing in four things, right? What we're talking about, for example, is only when it comes as a pair or as a couple. When you say, you know, الرجل الجوعان كذا كذا كذا, right? The hungry man. I'm gonna say anything. في الفصل. Right. So here now, look, it's part of this Sifah mawsoof combo. Okay, it's all in the mubtada, all together on the same side of the sentence, and that's when it has to follow with definiteness and grammar, the four things: gender, grammar, and number. Okay, so we had cleared that up previously as well, but I just wanted to reiterate that. Because what we're getting into now is now we're seeing the Sifah mawsoof pairing thrown around all over the place. The first lesson, it was restricted to the khabar, and that was very, very nice and easy. And now we're getting it in the mubtada. Now we're getting it in the mubtada and the khabar. Now we're getting it all these different places. Okay, so we've reached a new exercise, and we're going to see that in action. We're going to see the Sifah mawsoof pairing pop up in different places. And so let's explore. Brother Muhammad Mu'tasim, could you read exercise number 1?
Okay. الطبيب الجديد في المستشفى في المستشفى والطبيب القديم في المستوصف.
Excellent. So I don't believe we've had al-mustawsaf before. Al-mustawsaf is the pharmacy. Okay, so we have the hospital and the pharmacy. So the sentence here, they bumped the old doctor back to the pharmacy, and they kept the new doctor in the hospital. So what are the Sifah mawsoof pairs that you see? Tell me which pairs are Sifah mawsoof.
طبيب الجديد and طبيب القديم.
Very good. Now, each of these, are they part of a mubtada or are they part of a khabar?
They are مبتدأ.
Very good, excellent. And so you notice, very good one.
Yeah.
And you see how that they match in the fourth thing. So they both are the mubtada. They both are part of this coupling, this pairing, and so we have to match with ma'rifa, ma'rifa, singular, singular, masculine, masculine, and marfu', marfu', and that goes for both of these. And he read it very well, with the exception of al-mustashfa. Sorry about that. This is an alif. It's an alif maqsoor. The difference between this and a ya is the two dots in Arabic writing. Not always in the Quran. Great. Number 2, Brother Tamid.
القلم المكسور على المكتب.
Fantastic. Translate that for us.
The broken pen is on top of the desk.
Fantastic. And let's see. I see Sheikh Family has a question. Go ahead, Sheikh Family. What's your question?
The first one, after the fee, how come that's mustashfa, not fee?
Yes, very good question, Sister Asma. This is because any word ending with an alif, either mamdud, this is called mamdud, or maqsoor, is mabni. It will not manifest changes in grammar upon the end. Okay, so this is where your Isa and Musa, right? They are similarly fixed. They are fixed nouns.
So mustashfa is fixed. It's not going to change into
Correct.
That's
kasra at all.
Whether it's marfu' or majroor, whether it's the object or subject or part of the prepositional phrase or anything, it's always going to be mustashfa. Same with Isa and Musa. Any ism that ends with either of these two letters, same letter, just written differently. Alif maqsoor and alif mamdud. Very good. Okay, so back to Brother Tamim. Where is the Sifah mawsoof pairing that you see?
القلم and المكسور.
Fantastic. And where does it happen? Does it occur in the mubtada or in the khabar?
This is the mubtada.
Very good. Fantastic. So now we're seeing, look, the exercise that we're being given. Now they're throwing us all these Sifah mawsoof pairs in the mubtada. Before, they were usually nakira, nakira. Now they're ma'rifa, ma'rifa. Very good. Moving on to Sister Erum. Could you please do number 3 for us?
المروحة الجديدة في الغرفة الكبيرة.
Very good. The exception of, we have fi here, so it's going to change the ending of the last two
في
words.
الغرفة كبيرة. ألف لام. Okay.
Very good, very good. So al-mirwahatu is a fan,
Fan. Okay.
city fan, right? Not a sports fan. The fan that rotates that makes you cool in the summertime. So very good. Now look at this example. This is different from the other one. So we have the new fan is in the big room. Okay, that's literally what it means. Sister Adam, where are our pairs of Sifah mawsoof?
صفة موصوف المروة مروحة الجديدة.
That's the,
صفة موصوف.
yes.
Because it has, it's following all 4 rules. في الغرف, that's also صفة موصوف. غرفة الغرفة الكبيرة.
Fantastic. Exactly. So this is the first example where we've seen there's a Sifah mawsoof pairing both in the mubtada and in the khabar. And we see that each of them follow the 4 things that they have to follow. Mirwahatul jadidatu is singular, feminine, marfu' and ma'rifa. And similarly, fil ghurfatil kabirati is also singular, feminine, majroor this time. They both have to be majroor, and ma'rifa. Why is it ma'rifa if it's part of the khabar? Recall that this is part of a prepositional phrase. And once we're inside of a prepositional phrase in a khabar, it's different rules from if it's just a simple khabar with one word or something like that. Very, very good. Excellent stuff. Is Brother Muhammad Tariq there?
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam wa rahmatullah. Could you do number 4 for us?
Yes, al-lughatul arabiyatul sahlatu.
Very good. What does that mean? Translate it for us.
It's Arabic is a simple, easy language.
Very good. Arabic is okay, we're going to literally, the Arabic language is easy. Okay, where is our Sifah mawsoof pairing here?
Al-arabiyatul sahlatu.
Okay.
Actually, I think al-lughatul arabiyatul sahlatu, all three are the same.
Okay, you think all three are the same. Very good. So let's go through the 4 things and let's find out if that's true or not. So they have to follow each other in what? What are the 4 things?
For gender,
So,
the definite, indefinite, and nakira.
okay, good. So al-lughatu, is it definite or indefinite?
Al-lughatu is definite.
Yes, because the alif lam. Al-arabiyyatu, is it definite or indefinite?
Is also definite.
Fantastic. What about sahlatun?
That is indefinite.
Which actually we have to have a word that's indefinite to make the sentence. So we have our mubtada here and our khabar there. And if we're thinking, well, what's the English? Then this is where is would happen, right? Al-lughatul arabiyyatu, the Arabic language, is easy. So that's our difference. And that eliminates the possibility of sahlatun being part of the Sifah mawsoof pairing. So the Sifah mawsoof pairing is al-lughatul arabiyyatu. They follow each other in 4 things, and it is in the mubtada here.
Oh, okay.
Excellent work. Good job. Okay, moving on. Brother Sarah, you get the big one.
Jazakallah khair. الولد الطويلة الذي خرج من الفصل الآن طالب
Oh, good job.
من الكويت.
Very good. Al-Kuwait is Kuwait, the country.
No.
So, mashallah, that was a lot of stuff, and you did it well with the exception of a-tawil. You said a-tawilatu. There's no
Oh, no.
tawilul ladhi. But that's just one thing, mashallah. You did great. Okay, all right. Where is our Sifah mawsoof pair, or are there more than one? Where are they?
The first pair is al-waladu tawilu.
Very good. Okay. Is that
And I think that's the only one.
good? You're right.
Yeah, that's the only one.
Very good. Okay, here's the hard question, Sa'id. Where is the mubtada and where is the khabar?
What is khabar again?
That's not a good, you're not encouraging me.
Mubtada and khabar.
The subject,
Okay.
the predicate.
Subject and predicate. Okay.
The mubtada is who we're talking about, who or what, and the predicate is the information that we're saying about the subject.
The mubtada is al-waladu tawilu. Al-waladu tawilu.
No doubt that al-walad al-tawilu is part of the subject, but that's not all. Anybody help him out? Other guesses and opinions. If we're going to draw the line, where do we draw the line?
Till kharaja.
Kharaja. So after kharaja or before kharaja?
After kharaja.
After kharaja. So we have one opinion Sa'ir here. I'll put an S for Sa'ir. We have opinion Muhsin here. Any other opinions?
I think the khabar is min al-Kuwaiti.
Just Al-Kuwait?
He is from Kuwait.
Where do you want to draw the line? Min al-Kuwait?
Yeah.
Here. Okay. That's what Muhammad said. Okay. Other opinions? This is good. Nobody else.
I would include in the mubtada like al-waladu tawilu alladhi kharaja min al-fasl al-an. And then after that, everything after that would be khabar.
Brother Tamim gets the prize. Brother Tamim is the victor. Dun, 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 dun. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Yes. So if you have to translate, let's translate. So it would be the tall boy who left from the classroom just now. That's all the mubtada. That's all the subject. This is merely specifying the subject. Who are we talking about? If there was any ambiguity, maybe there's a whole classroom of tall boys. Which tall boy are we talking about? Oh, الذي خرج من الفصل الآن. That one. What about him? We haven't told you anything about him other than the information that we've given to distinguish him from other people. Is a student from Kuwait. You always come back to is. Where the mubtada crosses over to the khabar is in English where we would put the word is. So if you're translating the sentence, the tall student or the tall boy who left from the classroom right now is a student from Kuwait. And if you're looking for another way to tell, all this is marifa, 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 boom, nakira. Nakira. And that works because this is an ism. If it were, for example, a prepositional phrase right away, be, then it would be a different story. But because talibun is an ism and it is nakira with a tanween, we know for certain that the khabar starts here. The khabar is talibun min al-Kuwaiti. Any questions? Does that make sense? This alladhi is a relative pronoun. I think the next exercise we're going to talk more about that. Any questions? Okay, I'm erasing here. Here we go. All right, we're halfway through. Moving on to the Sayyid family. Someone from the Sayyid family, number 6.
أنا في المدرسة الثانوية.
Okay, we don't know what Thanawiya is, right?
No.
Okay, but even though we don't know what it is, we can know what is the final vowel sound. So think about the rest of the sentence and tell me what's the final vowel sound going to be.
Yeah.
Ana
Yeah, we should.
Mm.
2, right? Because it's a lip line.
Yeah, so that too.
that too. Okay, I disagree. That's okay. So first of all, Thanawiya is secondary. Okay, so this is literally secondary school. Al-madrasa, remember, is school. So al-madrasa, al-Thanawiya is literally secondary school. And if you're interested, that's because ithnain means 2. So thani, right, is kind of like the second. Thanawiya is secondary. It takes it over to an abstraction. But we'll learn about those patterns later. My contention with why you should be able to figure out what the last vowel sound is because you have enough information from the sentence to know that this is Sifah mawsoof, right? Al-madrasa al-thanawiyya is Sifah mawsoof. And you have enough information from the sentence to know that it comes after fi, right? So it will be fil madrasati, and then we know because this is Sifah, it has to follow al-madrasa in everything. In alif lam, feminine, feminine, singular, singular, majroor, majroor. Ana fil madrasati thanawiyati. I am in secondary school. Ana is the mubtada. This entire prepositional phrase is the khabar.
But if there was no fee there, let's just for a brief second, whatever the word is, then it's just alif lam, then it's only be 2.
100%. If there's no fee, it's 2, definitely. But because fee is here, fee makes, it's like dominoes, right? Fee over al-madrasa, and then because al-thanawiyya is a sifa to al-madrasa, that means it also affects al-thanawiyya.
Yeah, we want the alif lam, that's why.
Well, it hooked up with the alif lam because alif lam just means the, right? So any word with alif lam, let's just pick al-kitab for a nice old familiar friend, right? Al-kitabu, it can be I saw the book, I took the book. Al-kitaba, if it's the object. Min al-kitabi, fil kitabi, right? If it's the part of a prepositional phrase. So it can take any of these three. It can have any of these three endings. And the ending, the whole point of how Arabic, or I shouldn't say the whole point, but like the logic behind Arabic grammar is that this is exactly going to tell you what it's doing. Okay, I know al-kitab means a book. What's it doing in a sentence? If it's a dhamma, it's telling me that it's the subject of a sentence. If it's a fatha, it's telling me it's the object of the sentence. If it's a kasra, it's telling me that it's part of some relationship with another noun, either place, time, or possession, right? So we can make sentences, with al-kitab, with all these three endings. Al-kitabu jamilun, right? The book is beautiful. Oops. Pardon my. Al-kitabu jamilun. And then we say a verb that we haven't learned yet. Akhadtu, I took. Al-kitaba, I took the book. Right? Or I want to say blah, 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 blah. Fil kitabi. This is what I saw in the book. So in Arabic, the meaning of the word within the sentence is all about what's on the end. What's on the end? What's on the end? As for the key, always going to stay the same. Ta, always going to be the same. Alif, always going to be the same. But the ending is what changes. Al-kitabu, al-kitaba, al-kitabi. Good. Anyone have any questions about any of that? Get this out of here. Okay, we're on to number 7. Brother Mohsen, could you do number 7 for us?
ذهب الرجل الفقير إلى الوزير.
Very good. Al-wazir, and listen to mashallah how he put al-waziri because it's the after the preposition. Wazir is a vizier, right? That's where we get the word vizier in English, meaning like a minister or an advisor. Right? Usually these days it's a minister, right? The minister of the interior, minister of I don't know, pick your governmental department. So we have a really interesting sentence here because it's a verbal sentence. ذهب الرجل الفقير إلى الوزير. So, Dr. Muhsin, what's the Sifa mawsoof pairing that we have in this example?
Yeah. Rajulul faqiru.
Fantastic, very good. And notice how it follows. Al-faqir follows al-rajulu in its definite, masculine, singular, singular, and marfu'. Now, I'm going to pick on Dr. Muhsin in an unfair way. We've talked about this very little, and we've only dealt with verbal sentences a tiny bit. Why is al-rajulu and therefore al-faqiru marfu'? Why does it have a dhamma?
I don't know.
Fantastic. I don't know is half of knowledge. And I didn't expect anybody to know because we haven't dealt with verbal sentences very much. When we talked about jumla ismiya, nounal sentences, there were parts, right? Mubtada, khabar, subject, predicate. When we talk about jumla fi'liya, there's three parts. There's the fi'l, which is the verb. Then there's the fa'il, which is the doer of the verb. And then there's the maf'ul, which is the object of the verb. Okay? So jumla ismiya has two parts. Jumla fi'liya has three parts. Okay? The fi'l, it's off in its own category. Let's not worry about that now. The fa'il is marfu'. Always. Always, always, always. Which is why ar-rajulu is marfu' here, because it is the doer of the verb. Dhahaba. Who went? He went. Who went? Ar-rajulu. He's the one who went. Ar-rajulu al-faqiru. He is the one who went. And so that's why absolutely has to have a dhamma. And as for the maf'ul, then it's usually going to be mansub in the accusative case, but here we have a prepositional phrase which changes things to majrur, just like with the jumla ismi. Fantastic. Okay. We have another crack at verbal sentences in the next example. I think we're at the Sheikh family. Number 8, someone from the Sheikh family.
Jalasat talibu al-jadidu khalfa hamidin.
MashaAllah, very good. Translate that for us, if you may.
The new student is sitting in front of Hamid.
Very good. Very good. With the exception.
No, and behind Hamid.
Khalfa is behind. Yes, yes. Very good. With the exception that jalasa is a past tense verb, so it would be sits. But yes, completely correct. So if we're breaking down this sentence, just like our previous one, we have our verb, fi'l, we have our subject or our doer of the verb, at-talibul jadidu, okay? And then we have the rest, which is khalfa hamidin. And Dr. Zia, mashallah, remember that khalfa is a dharf, a preposition, and it renders hamid majrur. Khalfa hamidin, because this is a relationship of place, just like our others like fi and min and ila and things like that. So what's the sifa mawsoof pairing in the sentence?
At-talibu jadidu.
Fantastic. And they agree each other, singular, singular, masculine, masculine, marfu', marfu', ma'rifa, ma'rifa. Excellent. Sister Asma, could you do number 9?
As-sakinul kabiru hadun jiddan.
Very good. What type of sentence are we dealing with here?
I think it's a ism.
Yes, completely correct. Jumla ismiya. Where is the mubtada? Where is the khabar?
So mubtada would be the sakinul kabiru.
Very good. Fantastic. And the khabar is hadun jiddan. How can we tell? There's many ways. If we're translating, is going to fall right here. Also, we notice that this is marifa, marifa. And then look at this. There's a tanween, which means nakir. So a sakin, we've learned a sakin before. It's a knife. So the big knife is very sharp. That's the meaning of the sentence. Where's the sifa mawsoof pair?
The sakinu kabiru, big knife.
Very good. Exactly. The big knife. And so it follows each other. It's marfu', marfu', singular, singular, masculine, masculine, marifa, marifa. Definite, definite. Very, very good. And we have any questions?
One question on 7.
Yeah.
So fail, if it's in the beginning, it's always fatah at the end, jalasa.
Oh, good. Okay, so we have not done any verb conjugation at all yet. So when it comes to a past tense verb, okay, jalasa. This is fixed. This is fixed. This is fixed until we conjugate. Okay. What do we mean conjugate? There's a difference between conjugation and changing and declination, okay, in grammar. So declination is everything that we've been doing. You change al-madrasa to al-madrasati or al-madrasata because it's either the object or the subject or part of a prepositional phrase or something like that. Conjugation is when we change the ending of a verb to reflect a different doer of that verb, right? So jalasa literally means he sits, right? Literally the sentence is, he sits, the new student, which is crazy in English. We would never say that, but that's how we say it in Arabic. Jalasa talibul jadidu. Once we get into other types of subjects, like this is, jalasa is third person singular, right? He. We're going to start changing the ending to reflect that conjugation. So for example, jalastu is I sat. Jalasta, you sat. Jalasat, she sat, right? So the answer to your question is yes and no. If we're talking the same meaning, he sat, then yes, it's fixed. It's never going to change, ever, ever, ever. Once we start, if we're talking about the root, jalasa, as to sit, it's going to change according to the rules of conjugation, which we have not learned, which is why we've been dealing with jumla ismiya so much, because dealing with jumla fi'liya, we're going to start, and only in a couple lessons, we're going to start learning how to conjugate verbs to say he sat, you sat, we sat, they sat, I sat, etc., etc. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, very good. And we happen to have, yes.
So it means that you can put the verb anywhere because the conjugation, it means exactly this, right?
You could, however, there are conventions, right? So within Arabic conventions, the strongest and most direct, just like in English, we prefer the active voice. Everybody who's written papers in college are like, use the active voice, use the active voice. It's stronger than the passive voice, right? There's conventions. So in Arabic, the convention is to use the verb first. That's considered more direct. It's considered more eloquent. It's considered better. Though there are situations, especially getting into the Quran, where we see things are mixed around intentionally, not because there's no other way of saying things, but because now we're shifting emphasis. And we'll get into lots of examples of that when the time is right, inshallah. So if the Sheikh family doesn't mind, I'm going to actually, or I'm sorry, if Brother Muhammad doesn't mind, I'm going to take this example away from him and give it to the two sisters who just came, because they didn't get to do anything before. Sisters Masarrat and Seima, could you split this number 10? Sister Masarrat, do the first part, and then the answer, Sister Seima.
من هذا ال من هذا الولد
Yes.
من هذا الولد القصير no قصير sorry من هذا الولد ولد القصير.
Fantastic. And the answer?
هو ابن المدرس الجديد.
Okay, very good. Let's see, one second here. What's the relationship, Sister Saima, between Ibn and Al-Mudarris?
ابن المدرس ابن المدرس المدرس is the البدل. No. No, it's not بدل. ابن المدرس ابن مضاف إليه.
Excellent. So it's possessive. مضاف مضاف إليه. So if مضاف مضاف إليه, how is it going to read? وابنه المدرس is going to be the ending.
مدرسي. هو ابن المدرس الجديد.
Fantastic. That's what I want. So translate this sentence. What's the question, Sister Masarah?
It says who's this I forgot what qasir is.
It means short.
Okay, who's this short boy?
And the answer, Sister Saima?
Yeah, he is the son of a new teacher.
Very good. What? Yes.
I don't understand why the jadid is kasra.
Very good. We'll get into that. That's the answer to my next question. What are the Sifah mawsoof pairs? So in your part, in the question, what's the pair that's Sifah mawsoof?
It's a Naat and Manut, Ustaza. Sorry, sir.
Same thing, yes. Naat, Man'ut, Sifah mawsoof. What are the pairs?
Both are same.
So we have in Sister Masarah,
Okay.
what's the pairing?
Okay, it's a teacher that's new. Sorry, I get it. Okay.
So we have, okay, in yours, al-walad.
Sorry, in mine it's al-walad al-qasir.
Very good. And in Sister Saima's, it's al-mudarrisul jadid or al-mudarrisil jadidi, right? And so that's the answer to the question, why is al-jadidi with a kasra, majroor, for everybody else, in case you were wondering as well? Because al-mudarrisi is majroor. Why is al-mudarrisi majroor? Because it is mudaf ilay. It is the possessor of ibn. So as we said, Arabic is like dominoes, right? If something tips over and hits something else, guess what? That's going to affect the next thing. Ibn is possessed by al-mudarris. That means al-mudarris is majroor. Al-jadid is an adjective describing al-mudarris, and so that's going to make al-jadid majroor as well. Very good.
Both Arab are same, no?
All right, say again.
I said both Arab are same.
Yes, the i'rab has to be the same. They're one of the four things that Sifah and Badr, learn about, inshallah, have to follow, right? They have to follow in gender, in number, in grammatical case, and in definity or definiteness. So we have here singular, singular, masculine, masculine, marfu', marfu', and ma'rifa, ma'rifa. Here we have singular, singular, masculine, masculine, majroor, majroor, ma'rifa, ma'rifa. Very good. Fantastic. Anybody have any questions about anything? That takes us exactly to the end of our class time. A final point about this, recall that the order of sentences can get jumbled in questions because in Arabic, we put to the front what we're asking about. So if we're looking at man hadha al-waladul qasiru, the mubtada is al-waladul qasiru. Or actually, to be more precise, hadha al-waladul qasiru. The original sentence is hadha al-waladul qasiru man. That or this short boy is who? But because in Arabic we rearrange the sentence, we put the part that we're inquiring about towards the front. Now it becomes man hadha al-waladul qasiru. Very good. Thank you everybody for your participation. We're moving along at a very nice pace. Inshallah, next class we will finish this chapter, and we've got new and exciting things lying in wait for us for the chapter ahead of us. Ameen wa iyakum. Everybody have a good weekend. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.